Good morning, my Abe Arbak. Here's the plan. A tiny bit more information on the roof build. Don't want to give you too much, don't want to give those builder types an edge, but a little bit more. Swimming pool, tiling. Inside the house, plastering. On top of the house, roofing. Around the house and inside the house, clean-up day. And a little bit more work going into the carport and storage room area. A lot going on today. What could possibly go wrong? The roof build finish date competition is in full swing. We have had about 25 entries so far, but it does occur to me that some of you are watching on TVs or on things that can't put comments in, or at least it's more complicated. Can't do likes, oh dear, come on. And can't subscribe, possibly. Well, for those guys, go find an 8-year-old and they'll help you. But to be fair, and to be as inclusive as possible, I will include an email address in the description and on screen now-ish. So if you want to enter the competition, but you can't do it through the comment section, send me an email. And yeah, if you haven't subscribed because you're watching on TVs, work it out. We're still something like 56% non-subscribers watching. There's no excuse. Well, unless, as I've said before, these videos do make you violently ill. Well, in which case, why are you still here? Come on, subscribe. Here at the pool, tiling's continuing, but something new. Down here, we've got the beginnings of the bench seat that will be in here. And take your dizzy pills, it starts over there and it goes all the way around here. And there are, I've mentioned before, there are water jets at various points along here to give that jacuzzi-ish sensation. So, multiple activities in the pool today. There was a question in the comments about plastering downstairs. And yes, there is a little bit more going on here in the entrance hall. A bit more on this wall. As far as I know, at the moment, that is the only area downstairs. Speaking of stairs, here we go. More plastering going on around the staircase. So that's kind of downstairs. That's 2 areas. Really? Me? Wrong? Unheard of. And more going on with this wall up at the top. And another hello. More going on up there. It's all over the place. So the light from here, as you can see, there's quite a big window here. You can only make out part of it, but there's a big window here. And it does go right the way through to another window in that area between the master bedroom and the master bathroom. This is something I hadn't noticed before. I think this is simply using guide wires going through the conduit to make sure they are clear. And the same thing over here. The high wire act upstairs, continuing with roofing, of course. There are, to answer a question, only 2 of them to do this whole roof. I don't know if that will influence your decision on how long it will take, but just 2 guys. More plastering in here in the front bedroom in the middle. A little bit more being completed down at the bottom of that wall. And then a little more up there to go. And hello, says the roofing guys. 2 guys up there are Aaron and Wency. Rico back on his own again. plastering inside the bathroom here, which is in the back bedroom on the north side. This is looking out of the dining room window, one of the two dining room windows. And Manny plus Carlito plus maybe one or two others are doing some cleanup around here. It's been commented before that by other builders that have knowledge of such things. In general, this does appear to be a pretty clean site. There's not too much rubbish left lying around for long. And today's one of those days where they try and keep that going. A little later today, we are heading out on a tile search for the floor. There's been a couple of comments about that. One basically said, well, don't do anything different, keep the same tiles. And we don't really have a problem with doing that with the colour scheme. The only issue my wife has is she feels that these tiles are a little bit slippery. So the intention is to try and find something that is not a million miles from these colours, but maybe with a slightly rough surface. Not like pebble rough, but just a little bit more that allows a bit more grip on the pool floor. So that's the plan, is to stay very broadly with this colour scheme. Keep it relatively light coloured. We don't want anything too dark in here, partly because that might, when we have lights, coloured lights in here, it might distort those colours. So probably still light-ish blue, maybe with a pattern, maybe without, but with a slightly rougher surface to them. That's the plan. What could possibly go wrong?
We've had frogs, bugs, cats, dogs, chickens, goodness, cows, and now this fella just been found actually wandering around inside the other, what was originally a dirty kitchen. We think he's come out of the pond because there's no water in it, or almost no water in it, and we can't put any water back in it just yet because we want to let it drain completely and then dig out the floor a little bit more. Any suggestions? What we're going to do with this big fella? And we think there might be more of them.
It's just after lunch. We are about to head out on a tiling expedition, and then we've got another appointment that's nothing related to the build. After that, it might mean we don't get back by the end of today, so we'll just have to see how that goes. 2 points before we go. Number one, I had hoped to get an estimate from the roofing fellas about when they believe the roof will be done. I have failed to get that information so far, so bear with us. I will try and get it by tomorrow if I can. I'm still going to leave the competition open for a little bit longer. Once I have their estimate, I'll let you know, and you can either post an answer or revise your estimate, and then we'll close the competition a day or so later. Secondly, I had asked you for ideas for a prize for the winning guest. And this appears to be turning into a how do we punish the dummy with the camera competition. 3 people so far that I can remember have suggested things to do with football teams, and I mean football, not American football. Football teams that I do not support, and things like me wearing a shirt for one of those teams on camera, or putting up a plaque somewhere for one of those teams. So, a message specifically to Dim and Owl, I hope I said that right, and Jerry and Paul. If you cut me, do I not bleed? No. Oh, there you go, that was a bit. Shakespeare, Merchant of Venice. Oh, this is I read a book once. I'm not doing it. I don't care what bribery and corruption you offer. I am not wearing a shirt from one of those clubs. I'm not going to put a plaque up to one of those clubs, even if it is hidden away where somebody will never ever see it. Nice try, fellas, but no, 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 and thrice no. Right, that's my rant out of the way. No other football clubs. Right, this is pretty much our only option of any scale near us. Wilcon. There is another town about a 45-minute drive away, maybe an hour, San Fernando, that has more. So this is our close one, so we're going to have a look. So this is what you're faced with when you come in. Tiles and tiles and tiles. Going quite a long way up there. Plus, more over here. And all sorts of other bits and pieces for your home. Oh, this is going to be horrible. And immediately distracted. Bathrooms. I didn't realise we were coming here to look at bathroom stuff as well. More joy. Well, despite there being a ton of tiles in here, I think this is turning into a bit of a bust. This is probably the closest we can find to a semi-rough finish. But we've already got something like that. The builder provided something very similar, and it would be okay, but it's not knocking my socks off. And more importantly, it's not knocking my beautiful as ours socks off. So, not that one. We'll keep looking for a couple more minutes, but this is all getting a bit random now. We're on bedroom floors. Quite like this one. We are now, somewhat randomly, looking at granite for a kitchen island. And I think the general colour scheme for the cabinetry is going to be a kind of a lightish grey, which doesn't sound great, but pictures we've seen elsewhere look nice. So we've got to try and think about how that might fit in. And the other thing with a work surface, it probably shouldn't be too dark, otherwise with my knackered old eyes I'll put things down and won't be able to see them. Oh, the search for everything goes on. I do wonder whether the best plan isn't just to walk up to one of these pictures they've got and say, I want that. And when they say, which part of that? You say, all of it, exactly the same. Decisions made. Wouldn't that be easier? So there we go. Our visit that was planned with military precision. Exactly what we were going to do. Ended up being utterly random. I'm not sure we've got anything out of that really. Definitely haven't found the pool tiles that we were hoping to find. Oh well, plan B. Anybody got a plan B? We're back. The bell has gone. In fact, the bell went 40 minutes ago. So, at the end of a barnstormingly successful tile shopping trip, look, don't blame me, I'm a bloke. Quite a lot of us, you know, we're not great with this kind of thing. To go shoe shopping, we know what we want. We want a black pair of shoes, lace-ups, size, whatever. Go to a shoe shop, pick up the first pair of black shoes we see that are roughly the right size. Done, go home. So, yeah, me and finishing on this house are not going to be best buddies. Anyway, back here, they have done a little bit more. Over here with plumbing, we do need to recheck the height of this bench seat that will be in here. It does look pretty low to me, but the boss will have to tell me if that's acceptable or not. I think she'll want that to go a little bit higher. Tiling has continued. We're getting a fair way round this island now. What we're going to do about the floor? Absolutely no idea. Watch this space. Heading up the stairs, this wall is fully plastered. This wall is fully plastered, except that bit that actually is close to the door into the bedroom. Not quite there yet. I've just had a wander around all the rooms upstairs. There are quite a few more bits and pieces of plastering done, but I don't think that filming each individual one this time is going to add to the story much. So, the roof, more work obviously been going on up here. Roger Moore put a comment in to say he felt that these half trusses are too far apart. I mentioned that they're roughly 2 meters between each one. He put in a comment to suggest that that should be more like 0.8 of a meter. I have not had a chance to talk to the engineer about that yet. That's on my list for tomorrow. And no, I still haven't had the chance to talk to the roofing crew to get their estimate on when the roof will be finished. Just to add, in case it wasn't clear, we're not including ceilings in that competition. It is the roof itself. That'll do for today. You're probably thinking, please don't ever film shopping trips again. I will try, if I do film another one, we'll try and make it just marginally more successful than today's trip. Right, day's done. Plastering, swimming pool, roof, and certainly over at the front of the house, quite a bit more cleanup was done. I actually didn't see much evidence of further work on the carport and storage room. Maybe I misunderstood that this morning. But there we go. Day 1:30, done. See you tomorrow.